All right, we are going to Vegas to pick up a friend's daughter who got in trouble at a hotel. That one's fine, but this one is quite warm. Oh yeah.
Put the plastic over here.
Sorry, I'm used to doing it that way.
You used to.
All right.
And the address. But don't get involved.
Please drive to highlighted route.
All right.
Promise?
Yeah. Well, this should definitely test out my recording capability.
Turn left on West Avella Drive, then turn left. Turn left on Glen Wilk Drive,
I
then
brought
turn
some
left.
snacks and
Yeah.
water. In case you get hungry, maybe, okay?
That's fine.
Turn left on West Honeycutt Road.
First thing we do after picking her up is gotta go get some gas.
Yeah, that's what they're gonna be doing.
Continue 1.4 miles, then turn right on North John Wayne Parkway.
God, please protect us from accidents.
You gotta be praying to the car gods there, not God.
You're so bogey, babe. If you're not bogey, I would smack you. You're at your peak of your pogginess right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably when you grow older, you're still bogey, but you're in your peak.
Yeah. There she is.
Where? Is that her?
I assume so. Might want to scoot it up a bit too. Just lift up, I'll push. Oh, that's probably too much.
Hey, more.
I'm so sorry for you, Ford.
Grab some plastic, Sadie. There's some plastic over here.
I'm so sorry for getting y'all out of bed this time. If it wasn't my child, I would have asked.
It's fine.
My husband, Clayton.
Basically my motto is, if you pay for the trip, I'll take you anywhere.
Yeah, you got it.
Sorry for the small-
I don't want her to
You're
be
used to the
stranded
big
like
car.
that.
Yeah,
so-
and
I'm fine, Anna. Stop worrying about me.
speaking of which, I'm at a quarter tank, so the first thing we're gonna have to do is fill up.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
You're comfortable over there? You got room over there?
I'm not worried about comfortability right now. Worried about getting my child.
I hope he's fine. What happened?
So she goes to Vegas, and this is what me and her father been telling her about. She's so grown. She's 25. She's in college. Just because she has her own place and her own job, she still feels like when she go out of state somewhere, she doesn't have to tell her parents where she goes.
Mhm.
So you're gonna go to Aruba and you're not gonna tell her? No. Her dad said you're gonna send me the names, telephone numbers of parents, and everything.
Right.
So I made her send me. She bought me an iPhone for my birthday, and with iPhones, you can get someone's location.
You can
Correct.
do that with Android too, but
I
okay.
didn't know that at the time. I didn't know that because I would have been done it with her.
Yeah.
So
In fact, our phones, with the McAfee, I have McAfee for my security. That you can, if you have a certain account with them, which is, for me, it's just a basic account, but you can put it on your phone too.
and I'm gonna
And-
get some cookies.
And on
Oh.
the
Thank you.
and on the phone,
I got some snacks as well.
you have to, unfortunately, with the McAfee, you have to set it up on each phone, but you can literally track where the phones are. So I don't have it on Anna. Oh wait, I keep forgetting this stupid thing needs to
I thought
calculate.
y'all was driving Anna's car.
No.
we send it back, remember?
That's right.
Here you go, honey.
No.
You know the
I'm
one Anna.
I'm waiting for this thing to calculate.
You're gonna want it later, honey.
Huh?
You're gonna want it later.
Later. Yeah.
Okay.
There's
so glad.
Circle K over there.
No, but it doesn't have a gas station. Did you want to go to the gas station first?
Sure.
Okay, let's do that. Let's make a. Okay, we're going on the highway. Okay, let's make a left.
The left. Okay.
There's a bus.
Yeah, I know. I see.
How are you, Ramona?
We got what plane? Let's make a. Yeah, I said a left, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My nerves are shot because this is a girl.
Yeah.
Her dad told her she was no good.
Where are we going? Left or right?
Right.
Right? Okay.
You might have to get back to where that bus is gonna stop.
Nope.
And make it, the 202 West right here. But we're not going to the 2 West, we're just gonna turn right here and keep straight down to the gas station. That Circle K. No, that, That's wrong, we're going on to the next one.
Okay.
That one doesn't have any gas.
Right.
Oh, it's just a Circle K?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought. You want some water?
So they went to Vegas with a friend. Her friend bought a friend. The friend ended up getting in my daughter's face because my daughter said something about something that she has on. Like all of us women do.
Right.
But there's no need for you to buck at my daughter ready to fight her, and you don't get in my daughter's face, and you don't get anybody's personal space and feel like it's going to be okay.
Right.
So they end up getting
Except the
fighting.
cops.
Right.
They stand like this far away from you and then tell you to stand back.
Thank you. I thought I was the only one to notice that.
No.
But then they got in a fight, and my daughter's friend took the other girl's side.
Huh.
Left my daughter, did not come back. She had to get her stuff. Hotel kicked her out. She has nowhere to go. She was sitting on the side of the curb. Just so happens some more friends were there. Not her friends, but people she knew. And she would walk down the street, to the hotel room until I got there. And I couldn't do tickets because it's Memorial Day.
Right.
They're $700, $800 to $1,000 right now. So. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I'm talking. That's
It's
why
all right.
That's why I said.
I wouldn't have noticed it anyway unless it had the Shell logo.
So I have a headache. I took some Motrin, so.
I got a
hopefully
headache
that'll
earlier
help.
though too.
Then all of this, her dad had to go to work. Then I'm having to finish his schoolwork because he couldn't finish because we're up trying to figure out how the hell we're going to get there. You guys are Anna, you were my last result. You were.
It's fine.
And they're coated. How much does it normally take to fill it up so I can...
From completely empty, about $60.
Okay, but you're in a quarter?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're good. I'm just like, I'm just over it. Like, who does that to people?
Which one?
You take somebody somewhere out of... She rode with them. She has no other way home.
Oh my gosh, that's really bad.
She has no other way home, Anna.
You want some water?
No, I got my cup back here.
Yeah, that's bad. Where is she staying right now?
She's sitting at the room at her friend's.
Oh, okay. That's pretty bad.
It is, and like I'm just so I want to fight this other girl so bad, like seriously. But I'm a grown woman. But at the same time, you don't do nobody like that.
Yep, you're not supposed to do it.
You don't do nobody like that.
And abandon her for.
You don't do nobody like that.
Vegas is a very dangerous
Exactly.
city though too. And she might be mistaken as, and she's sitting in the curb. She might be mistaken as like,
Right.
like asking for whatever. Like a hooker or something, That's pretty bad.
I'm just so over.
That's why I can understand why you're so upset right now though too. And you seem like you've been crying.
I have.
All right, 325 miles until empty. Might have to. Let's see. You're telling me to go this way.
Yeah, because the highway down there. That's what I was telling Anna. She got to use the restroom.
Right.
We're going back towards the house anyways.
I might get there around 3 o'clock, probably 3 or 2 o'clock.
I just appreciate you all.
Turn right onto North 48th Street.
Oh my God, honey, that's too loud.
Yeah. You think?
In 1,000 feet, turn right onto East Washington Street.
Right. Okay.
I can't believe.
Her phone was about to die.
Oh, you want me to charge it?
No,
Take the next
they've
right
got
onto East
iPhones,
Washington
they don't
Street,
have
then
our
slide right
chargers.
onto the
Oh, they
Arizona
don't have the
202 Loop
chargers?
West ramp.
No, she said because her dad called me and said she's not answering her phone. I said, well, I haven't talked to her either. I told her I would text her when I'm on my way. But I do remember her saying she needed to charge her phone because it was about to die. I don't know why they took you this way.
Slight right onto the Arizona 202 Loop West ramp.
They were going to do this.
You're a good mother.
Oh.
Continue
that was the
for 1
turn.
mile.
Oh my God.
Yeah, this is right.
You're
Yeah.
right. You're right.
I just wanted to make sure I wasn't going.
Yeah, you just went in the opposite way.
Yeah.
That's why we laughed. We knew you were right.
Well, no, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't going on the off ramp.
Right.
I thought you did it illegally
I
earlier.
kind of figured you were, and I saw that yield sign.
Well, the construction made me think that turn was
That construction is wrong.
that there wasn't even a turn there. So
I'm just trying to figure out why they took you in the circle. It's like, oh, okay.
You're used to your big vehicle, Ramona, and this is really kind of.
In half a mile, merge onto Arizona 202 Loop West.
Cadillac before, a smaller one. I love these Mustangs because they can hold their weight, man.
Yeah.
Cars like that. And see, that's how I was telling Anna, I'm a daddy's girl, so I love muscle.
yeah,
I was the one home all the time with Dad working on the cars, changing oil, changing tires,
nice.
painting fences. I remember one time I just yelled, Daddy, I am a girl.
Continue on Arizona 202 Loop West for 2 miles.
And he just bust out laughing. And I was so serious, Clayton, like, I'm a girl.
In 2 miles,
Yeah.
use the middle 2 lanes to take the I-10 West exit toward Los Angeles.
That was cute. Not cute. I'm a girl.
I'll tell you one that used to make us laugh at home is my niece, my first niece. She, I think she was about 7 or 8 or something like that. Mom, can you log me into pbs.org? She didn't know that it was ORG for
for
But
Los
this
Angeles.
is the Vegas that we
We
did.
were working.
We did
We
it.
actually talked about it, Clay. Isn't that something? That was like,
Not exactly the trip that you're talking about, but
thanks, Erica.
Use
Is
the
it
middle
Erica,
two
your
lanes
friend?
to take the
Or your
I-10 west
daughter? What's the
exit.
name
Then
of
keep
your
right.
daughter's friend? I mean, what's the name of your daughter?
Erica.
Erica. Oh, that's
And I think the other girl named
Keep
Erica,
right
the one that she fought. Like, you just go, really? I know the police asked her if she
Continue
wanted to
on
press
I-10 west
charges.
for 22 miles.
She was just like, no, I just want to go home. That's all she kept saying, Daddy, I just want to go home. I want to kill her. I'm going to do this. And Dad said, no, you're not. You're going to get your butt here first. That's the first rule of thumb.
yep.
And then Anna is like, he has to go to work because I'm just getting back to work.
right.
And he gets paid every night.
Oh, yeah.
So he has to go.
Yeah.
Jesus, keep me.
Rear wheel drives are more fun to drive because you can get the back end loose and drift it and
I used to
do
want to be a restaurant driver when I was a little
right. Me too. Except when I was a little boy.
Richard Petty. Earnhardt.
Yeah, Richard.
That was Richard Petty.
Richard Petty is arguably the best driver
What?
ever.
Oh my God! You probably
Arguably.
You probably
The-
didn't even think
his-
you're gonna have this conversation.
No.
with me, did you?
His win to loss ratio is practically the highest anybody's ever seen.
Yeah.
However, and Anna will testify to this, my favorite driver is Earnhardt Senior. Because I liked his driving style. His driving style is so much like mine.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I definitely those two right there. But
Right.
Richard Petty was mine. Oh my gosh. He could do no wrong. Nobody could say any wrong. Like it was just.
And it's funny because I was watching this video on YouTube, basically defending Danica Patrick,
Okay.
saying why she's actually the best, and she was just getting harassed by the other drivers.
Yeah.
Even in Formula One racing, she had only one win. Only one win throughout her whole entire career. She has only had one win. And nearly every single race that she got pole position, she crashed and ended the race right there. And the majority of the time, it was her fault, not the other driver's fault. So no, there's only been one person that was arguably worse than her. But he only drove NASCAR. So she's a bigger loser because she's never won except for that one time in Formula One. And it wasn't even Formula One, I think it was like IndyCar. That's what it was, IndyCar. Which is like a level down. So and I think that's why GoDaddy dropped her too. Because I mean, you're that bad, I would drop you. And you know the movie Herbie Fully Loaded. Basically the same thing. That team, their team was the worst. And sponsors were just dropping like flies. Then they switched drivers, and now she's got sponsors all over the place.
They came out with a Earnhardt roller coaster at Kings Dominion in Virginia.
Oh, really?
I don't know if they have it in the other Kings Dominions, but you talking takeoff 90.
Huh.
Takeoff is at 90.
there's a theme park that's very popular in California called Great America.
I've heard of Great America.
Well, there's one out east somewhere too called Great America, but that one wasn't called Great America until after. Basically, it started out as Hanna-Barbera, owned and operated and run by Hanna-Barbera. Oh, is that thing on the ground? Then, once they started selling all their stuff because they were starting to go out of business, some other company came by and bought it, and I can't remember what company that was. But after that company, Paramount Studios bought the place. Paramount Studios started the renovations, basically. All the children's Hanna-Barbera areas were all cut off, and now it's employee access only. Back when, before Paramount sold the company, you used to be able to look over or through the slats of the fence and actually see the old Hanna-Barbera rides that were there. But they're all ripped out now. But when Paramount Studios took over, they introduced the Top Gun ride, and that was pretty much the newest Fandango. That was built when roller coasters were just being introduced, where the rail was on top of you and you sat in the seat. So and they had the bicycle seats and all that were very uncomfortable and all that stuff. They quickly swapped those out for better seats, but you were maybe 10 feet off the water on this one part.
Wow.
And
Why does it keep saying calculating 70?
because it's slow, I told you. So you'd come down and you'd be like that. You're like 10 feet off the water, but you feel like you're only 3 feet off the water. The ride was really popular, and after Paramount Studios sold the place to this other company, which owns the other Great America as well, they changed the name to Flight Deck. They didn't change anything about it except that it was named Flight Deck now.
Flight Deck what?
Just Flight Deck.
Oh.
It's funny because
In half a mile, use the right 2 lanes to take the exit toward Arizona State Route 303 North.
when the company switches, they can't just take the name of the previous company used.
Right. And you have to run those names through.
Right. Well, there were some rides there that were
Use the right 2 lanes to take the exit toward
original and they
Arizona
didn't
State
change the
Route
names, but for
303
some
North.
reason this one they changed the name to Flight Deck.
Continue for 15 miles.
Flight Deck.
There's the old wooden roller coaster that's there. It's called the Grizzly.
Oh my gosh, the Grizzlies at Kingston.
Yeah, and
That is
then
one of the oldest rides.
yeah, they actually took out the oldest ride there called the Wave, and they used to play Wipeout as the music.
I bet.
And then technically the third oldest ride there, I think, was the bird cages. They took that out to build a thing called the Drop Zone,
I remember that.
which is another Paramount
Right,
movie.
yeah, because that's like
And then
as well.
they changed that to some sky. I don't know. I don't remember what they called it now, but they changed the name to that. And then the Demon was basically the first steel ride there.
I would have never rode it.
Well, especially since there's 2 loops in succession, and you go down through one. that has a face carved in the rock to look like a rock golem or something. So you go through that one, you do another loop, and you go through another rock thing that's just a basic rock, and then you go up and you curve off to the left, and then somewhere over there you do a barrel roll.
Yeah, they can have that.
And then let's see, what was another one? I forget what it's called, but it was my favorite, and they took it out.
They always take the good rides out of it. Like, you
Yeah.
have to take the
Well,
Gristleberry.
they just recently took it out, like 4 or 5 years ago. I'd have to say maybe about 10 years ago. When was it that we went?
Which one? Santa Clara?
Yeah, the one in Santa Clara, Great America. And they didn't have that one that was my favorite.
2009?
Probably 2009 or so, yeah. Anyways, it starts out, you're sitting in this kind of like pod that's not much bigger than this cockpit. And technically it could fit 2 people. But someone my size, it's only going to ever fit me. So you sit in it, and like you can literally stick your elbows out the bars. That's how small the little cockpit is. And there's about 20 of them all around on this kind of sideways Ferris wheel. And it goes around and around and around, and
Yes,
it keeps
yes,
going
I
faster.
think I remember that.
It goes faster and
I
faster,
do.
and then it goes
Were they silver?
like that, and then you're going upside down now.
Were they silver or?
I've only ever remembered them being red,
Maybe
but I
they
could
are
be
red.
wrong.
Maybe it was red. That would have been my second thought too.
Yeah.
Red is second.
Anyways, they go. It starts to going out like this, and then it goes this way vertical, and then you go back down. That was my favorite
I
ride.
think I remember that ride.
Yeah.
I do remember that. Anna, did you remember rides? Did you go to theme parks?
Yeah, we went to go Great America. We went to go to.
I still want to take her to the boardwalk,
I haven't even been to
Santa Cruz.
Six Flags.
Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk.
We
No,
haven't
it's
been
not
to
a.
Six
It's not a
Flags.
Six Flags.
We haven't been to Six Flags.
Santa.
in California, I believe.
There is a couple of.
6 of them.
There's a couple of Six Flags in there, but the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk is not a Six Flags.
No, I was asking her, has
Oh.
she been to a Six Flags?
Oh,
No, not
she
yet.
hasn't.
Not
Well,
yet.
I don't even, when you said that, I said, I don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
Not yet. I haven't been there.
Anyways, but yeah, the Beach Boardwalk is, it's one of those. It's completely different from any or any theme park you've ever been to, really. This theme park is obviously beach related.
Right.
It is free to enter, but you have to pay to ride.
Right.
So you go up to the little kiosk and you tell them you want to go on this ride, this ride, this ride, or you can get the season pass or just a day pass or like a 2-day pass or something like that. And they have all the, the typical rides. They have the wooden ride, they have the metal rides, they have the little, rides that are about as big as this freeway, these 3 lanes,
Right.
They have a water ride there, that's just a little, it's kind of like, It's a Small World.
Right.
Where it's just a gentle ride. It's just a gentle water ride. Then they have this one that's kind of geared for kids. There's a locomotive in front, and then the cars in the back. And it's kind of a fast ride, but it's geared more towards the kids. And then they have all the the risk games where you throw the ball or the rings or whatever, shoot the water gun and make the balloon pop. okay, let's put it this way.
Paintball is really kind of like
Paintball is going to cost more.
okay.
Because you gotta either rent the guns or buy the guns. Then you gotta get the paintballs. You gotta get all the armor so that because the paintballs are gonna leave a huge welt if it hits you in a place that's not armored. You gotta get a helmet and goggles or a face mask or whatever so that your face is protected. So it's significantly going to cost more. But you could play that indoors, outdoors, light, dark, wherever, basically. Laser tag is far cheaper. They provide all the weapons, the armor, and all that stuff. Now the armor isn't like physical armor that it's going to stop something. It's basically got sensors on it to recognize that you've been hit. And the only time you could ever play it is really indoors, and it's almost completely black in the place except for some black lights and whatnot to make it a little bit so you can see. But other than that, in my opinion, paintball would be a lot more fun, simply because you get hit once, you're out. Laser tag, depending on the venue or the style of match or whatever, you can either get shot once and then you have to go recharge or something like that, and then go back out, or you can get shot like 5 times and then you're out of the game completely. So those are the differences, really. Then there's also, for both of the games, there's a capture the flag type. There's kill all enemy type. The benefit of doing laser tag is that it can keep score. It'll keep score for you, depending on the place you go. Paintball, there's really no scoring system, so you can't. So paintball is more of a everybody wins type thing. The only way you can tell somebody has won is the person that stands last, that unhit. The laser tag, you can see where everybody placed, how many deaths they've had, how many kills they've had, stuff like that. Laser tag also is,
in 2 miles, take the exit toward US 60.
Is probably geared more towards people Anna's size, whereas paintball, people my size can play and not worry about, oh crap, I'm standing behind this pillar and everything is still exposed.
Right.
Now with laser tag though, because it's dark in there, it is easier to hide, but there's less, technically there's more places to hide, but it's a lot harder because you can't really see around the corners or anything like that. Paintball, depending on the venue, you could either be in a restricted area or netted area that has these plastic pylons and boulders and or not plastic but rubber and all that stuff that you can hide behind. But also, if you get the venue where you're just out in the open, what is it called? The wilderness. You're just out in the wilderness, and is this it? Yeah, this is it. hide in the
In a
bushes.
quarter mile,
You
use
can
the
hide
right
in a
2 lanes
ditch.
to turn
You
left onto
can
US 60 West, West Grand Avenue.
hide in buildings. You can hide,
Use the left 2
behind the
lanes to turn left
trees.
onto US 60 West, West Grand Avenue.
Stuff like that. So it's more of a strategy. Strategy plays a huge part in paintball, depending on the venue. And laser tag, there's not really any game plan. Everybody usually just spreads out.
What I like is computerized.
Yeah,
They-
she likes it because it's computerized.
paintball is like a manual, like physical kind of,
Continue on
you know.
US 60 West for 28 miles.
Oh, he's racing you, honey.
Yeah, I know. And I was
when
gaining
saw
on him too.
I knew he was going to do that. And when you were talking, Clayton,
Yeah.
I started to ask, because I don't like to interrupt.
That's
you when
fine.
they're explaining stuff. I started to ask you. I started to say, he's going to try to race you.
Oh yeah.
You can't help it.
I knew, and I was gaining on him too. So
Oh, and then he's gonna end up, he beat the red
He
light.
went through. No, he went through.
He went through.
Yeah,
Oh, he beat the red light.
yeah.
Jerk.
But yeah, so those are the differences
And the
basically.
police
So
will get us versus him,
yeah,
because he's gone.
yep.
Yeah.
Like, did you see him? And it's probably why you didn't see him, because he is the one that's speeding. You got me because I'm the snail. What is that? What's like a cartoon? The tortoise and the what is the tortoise? That's the turtle and the
The rabbit and
Rabbit.
the the hare and the rabbit or whatever.
I can't, you know what I can't even remember. Oh my gosh.
Characters.
Yeah, it's the
What-
tortoise and the snail.
No.
Yes, I know tortoise is in there. Can't remember though.
Well, there's the old fable about the rabbit versus the turtle. Because
yeah.
Guess what, Ramona? Amy paid me $20. $20.
yeah,
Correct.
But-
She must be scared.
yeah.
She must be
'cause-
scared.
But the funny thing is that only proves that she still owes us money if we were to take her to court.
Yeah.
Because I looked it up in Pinal County or Maricopa County. I'm sorry. The Maricopa County Court. One of the things that is listed on their pages for small claims is verbal agreements.
Yep. Yep. I'm just not surprised. Like, she really is that type of person. Oh, the reason I asked you that question too, Anna, was because I
except for one person, followed my instructions, and they're all with somebody. That one person didn't listen to me.
Who's that?
And Ryan.
Right.
And he's as far as I know, he's not with anybody. My nephew asked me, and his friend asked me, how do you pick up a girl? I said, maybe 2% of the time that you actually say some stupid line, they'll actually go with it.
Right.
98% of the time,
98%.
it's just going to turn them away.
Yep. Especially if you say
So,
something stupid.
all you do is say, hey, I saw you across the bar or across the room or whatever. I thought you were really pretty. I'd like to get to know you.
We just really want something simple. We don't have time for the extra.
Right.
That's funny, Ramona.
Cut to the chase. And
That's funny, Ramona.
And
Well, I
not
mean,
waste my time.
I'm not, saying to say too much, but compliment them, of course, and then say I'd like to get to know you, and that's it.
That's all I want to know.
And my nephew and his friend both got girlfriends the next day. And then let's see, my ex's sister pretty much told her what to do, and her sister's friend pretty much on what to do, but I think they ended up being sluts. So,
Oh my goodness.
well, I mean, it got to the friend got to the point where she used plastic wrap as a condom. So,
Plastic wrap? What do you mean?
cling wrap.
Cling wrap?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So,
Let's pass that topic, Clay. I want to talk
Yeah,
about
so-
I want to talk about Amy.
but basically, everybody that's listened to me has gotten a girlfriend or boyfriend.
Okay.
Ryan, he's a lost cause.
Okay.
His cousin was the same way. His cousin like really overplayed it too. I guarantee you, his cousin was definitely gay. Every time we were gonna go like, hey, we're gonna go out. He's like, can I come? We're like, okay, whatever. There are gonna be girls there. Like, really? We're gonna go to get something to eat. There are gonna be girls there. We're going to the mall. Is there gonna be girls there? Like, seriously, dude. You're trying
rabbit.
too hard.
Rabbit, did you see the rabbit,
Yes,
honey?
I saw the rabbit.
Almost killed one.
That cousin of his stole my PlayStation 2 and tried to claim that it was his by. I had a very defined scratch along the top of my PlayStation 2, and I let Ryan borrow my PS2 for a few days, cover up the one identifying scratch that I had. And I told the parents, I was like, you see this one scratch that's covered up by all these other scratches he put on here? I can tell you exactly how I got that scratch. I was trying to fit it in this cubby hole that I have at my house that's designed for a VCR. Yep.
Alright, you go ahead, I'm listening.
All right, so I show them and I tell them how I did the scratch on it because the VCR cubby hole was a little too thin, and it scratched on the metal glass thing that catches the glass. It's a little magnetic thing. And then I proceed to open up this the expansion bay that you can put a hard drive in. I open that up and there's a sticker that I put in there with my name on it. I said, well, this pretty much guarantees that it's mine. And I show them and it's got this sticker on it with my name. Put it back. I said, this is definitely mine. I got almost all my games except for I think one, and technically it was not a full game. It was just one disc of a game, of a series of discs, which now I have multiple copies of. That was basically the end of that. Haven't heard from him since, but that guy, he was 110% gay. He was just overselling, literally overselling that he wasn't gay. It's so obvious that he was.
Is he Filipino too?
The cousin was full Filipino, yes. Ryan is half Filipino.
To each his own.
Yep.
240 miles for Las Vegas.
How many?
240.
240?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
247 actually, this is saying.
So we're closer than I thought from my house.
Yeah, it was 337 from where we live.
That's
So
what I was telling Anna, because when we were pulling it up, when I first called her, she was getting 518. No, I take that back.
5 hours.
No,
and
thank you. It's the middle of the night. Sorry.
It's okay. No worries,
Yeah, she was
Ramona.
getting 5 hours, 18 minutes, and I was getting 4:37, I believe.
yeah.
I just want her to be okay.
Yeah, I hope
just
so.
want to get her home.
I hope she's okay though too.
That's the black mama that's gonna come out.
Exactly.
After a minute.
That's
I'm
exactly.
gonna make sure. We're gonna make sure you're fine. We're gonna
Be
make
quiet
sure that you are
later, honey.
breathing.
Okay, be quiet later.
We're gonna make sure you're breathing.
Right.
You
Right.
gotta go to the hospital.
Right.
And you're not gonna press no charges.
Then you're gonna get beat and go back to the hospital.
Right.
Are we going to go to the hospital?
No. It's a joke.
It's a joke.
No. The point is, we're gonna make sure you're okay, Anna.
Oh,
We're gonna
okay.
beat your ass.
Right.
And we're gonna send you to the hospital. For disobeying us. And that's the first thing she said.
Now I'm learning.
When she
I'm
gets
learning.
and when she gets on the phone, when I work her dad, and she gets on the phone, she's like, I don't want to hear no chastising right now. And this, I
Right.
said, we don't want
that's what I said. You know, probably just sleepy, just couldn't get to sleep
But you
because
have parents that just beat on
bright-
their kids.
bright late-
I'm
yeah.
not that type of
So,
kid.
so she brings the kid into the bathroom. You hear these 3 or 4 smack sounds, and the kid stops crying for a little bit. They come out. You kind of hear, you get this ambience from everybody in the place saying, basically, you know, good job, you disciplined your kid. You know, got the kid quiet down.
Somebody tell her that?
No. You just get that vibe from everybody in
okay.
there.
Okay.
Maybe 10, 20, 30 minutes later, kid starts acting up again. So the lady takes the kid into the bathroom again, and you hear a couple more smacking sounds, and kid quiets down for another half an hour or so. Again, you know, another time, kid hasn't learned to stop crying. So the lady takes the kid into the bathroom for one last time. You start hearing the smacking sounds. The kid quiets down. All of a sudden, this lady gets up. She had just recently got in. Anyways, so this lady who had just entered and was hearing that for the first time goes over to the bathroom door and starts banging down the door, saying to the lady, "You shouldn't be doing that. That's child abuse. I'm gonna get the cops." You know, and there's the security guard sitting right there. You know, he's not giving any crap about it. And so the lady's just rapping at the door. The mother comes out and basically says, "I don't care what you're thinking I'm doing in there. You can't prove anything. And besides, I have the right to discipline my kid any way I deem fit." You know, and this it just goes off on her. And after she actually finishes her rant, everybody in the crowd starts clapping.
Wow. Yeah, right.
that lady that was pissed off was, you know, she was dumbfounded. She tried to record her, all that stuff. Yeah.
This truck. I'm glad the truck moved over to the right lane. Yes. It's not supposed to be.
So
the left
that
lane.
was that story.
Here goes the city lights. All the city lights.
Oh, look at that view.
You need a new air conditioner or just service for yours? Yes Man will get it working and keep it working. Get the number in your phone, 888-4937.
That is a city of lights right there.
The official HVAC.
Frank Sinatra Drive.
Keep right on ramp to I-15.
4.5 miles.
It's still like the Arizona highways.
Right.
All the little loops, but you get really confusing about when you miss an exit. You gotta go roundabout and stuff like that.
In 0.8 miles, keep left on
Taxi
I-15.
cab, it's so damn speeder,
And not using his turn signal too.
right? Mandalay Bay, the city that never sleeps. Isn't it New York is the city never sleeps though too, Ramona?
No, that's Big Apple.
Big Apple.
Keep left on I-15.
Pitbull.
Yep.
He's not really that popular, is he?
Not to me.
Celine Dion.
As long as she doesn't sing that stupid Titanic
That one, honey.
song. then-
That one, the little Luxor, the little pyramid right there. You see it?
Yeah, that's the pyramid one. On the other
on the
side of
other
that
side.
Delano building.
picture of Bellagio. This is the one I'm talking about.
Hurry up.
Bellagio.
Yeah.
Now.
There you go. I got it. And this. Oh, what is this one?
Keep right on to Flamingo Road East.
Caesar's Palace. This is where she works. My friend.
Picture of that. Oh my gosh, I can't get a picture. Nothing.
Sorry.
I can get a picture
No,
of
it's
it.
not you. It's my daughter. Texts me at the same time. Our GPS is popping up every time you make a turn, and I'm just like,
0.7 miles.
I
Turn
can't.
left on alley.
Yeah.
I don't know how you gonna get through there, Clayton.
I don't know, but I'm committed now.
Like the pickup area in the front. She said she's right over there
All right.
where those cars
That
are.
cop is literally right in the median. No, they're directing traffic. That's why.
Yeah, they are. Let me get it because I got to pee too. Let me.
All right, Anna,
Let me get
What?
it, Anna.
you're gonna have to get out.
Oh, you know what? I can't cross right here. It's jaywalking.
Oh, yeah, that
Where would it be jaywalking tonight?
it's jaywalking as long as you're not in the.
Oh, now I could have went right
You
there.
know what? I'm gonna.
Let's go to Bally's.
Okay.
Oh, be careful. There's a taxi. Do you want me to go with you, Ramona?
Sure. Yeah, let's do
So,
that.
yeah, so you're not.
Yeah, you can just park right here. We'll be back.
How you doing?
Doing all right. How are you?
I appreciate you.
More than you know.